going to interview Tiffany Klinger, the founder of Barbell Babes. We want to find out why she loves lifting and why she started her business. Hi, Tiffany.
Hi, Tina.
So let's go straight to it. What got you into lifting?
Well, I've been active my whole life, and I actually always loved lifting. I always went to the gym. I was never intimidated or afraid to be in the free weight section and lift what I thought was heavy weights. So I've always liked it. I've never been afraid of it.
So when did you officially start, I guess, lifting when you think barbells, not just free weights?
I started in 2012 after I got out of a really bad relationship, and I promised myself after that relationship that I would forever do something for myself, and getting into CrossFit was one of those things. And it helped me, still has helped me cope with everything I've dealt with. And it's just something that I do for myself, and I love it.
How did you find out about CrossFit, or what gave you that idea to try CrossFit?
I actually found out about Olympic weightlifting before CrossFit. I can't remember how I came across it, but I think I saw a video of this girl. I believe she's Chinese and a little bit younger than me, so kind of like someone who I could look up to. And she does Olympic weightlifting. I believe she's gone to nationals before. Did I say her name?
No.
Okay, her name is Jenny Lamb. I think she knows who I am. I told her that she's my inspiration for lifting. So I saw a video of her and I was like, oh my gosh, like I want to do that. And the fact that she was around my age and she's an Asian female or Chinese female, like I could directly relate, because you don't see very many Asians in the weightlifting world, or maybe in the fitness world to begin with. So I saw her and I went to a weightlifting club, but it was really far away. And it was around the time when CrossFit started getting popular. So I actually realized, CrossFit, since it is more mainstream, it would be easier for me to kind of get in that territory. So I found a gym and did that for 2 years and realized that I really did love Olympic weightlifting. So I decided to quit CrossFit and then just did Olympic weightlifting since 2014.
How does it make you feel? Why do you love Olympic weightlifting?
Oh my gosh, so many feelings. Like my husband doesn't like working out and lifting, so I can't relate to that at all. Whereas it makes me feel the opposite, Whenever I'm having a bad day, I go and I feel so much better. It's empowering knowing that my body can do this. I can lift all this heavy weight. Makes me feel good. It challenges me in ways that I never thought that I could be challenged physically. And overall, it just is my happy place.
It's your happy place. Then how did Barbell Babes come from that? Or what was in the timeline of Olympic lifting and founding your own company?
Yeah. So I've always had an entrepreneur background. Ever since I was a little kid, I was always hustling, always creating these little businesses. And, once I got into fitness, I knew I wanted to do something in the fitness world. It actually came from an idea before those long knee-high socks got popular. That's what I wanted to do. And I had just started working at a startup, so I was learning everything from how a business works, and I got the firsthand experience. And I actually told my boss, I'm like, this is my idea, this is what I want to do. And he's like, you're not ready. You have a lot to learn. And he was absolutely right. So by the time I left my job, it was about 2 years later, I gained all this experience. And by then the sock business had boomed, so I was late to the game. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know if I can start that now. And one day, it just clicked out of nowhere. And I was like, I should start a movement. You know, I had noticed that the fitness world or in the lifting world, you know, where my forte was, it was lacking representation of the average woman. You know, everywhere I looked, it was not to body shame, you know, women who are really ripped, but that's all I was seeing. I was seeing 6-8 pack abs everywhere, and just something that wasn't ideal for myself. I knew that, you know, I could get there someday, but I know a lot of women struggle with body image and wanting to look that way. You know, now that fitness is getting bigger and a muscular women are being more accepted, I know that it is difficult for a lot of women to get there, even though they want to. I found that that was lacking, and the everyday woman or all women, no matter what shape or size they are, needed to be represented. So that's where I got the idea for Barbell Babes. And that's how it came about.
So between that idea and it becoming as big a, I guess, community as now, how long did that take?
I started, so the idea I think came to me in like September, October of 2014. Or actually, no, sorry, February. And I launched a Facebook page. And it started building from there. It was kind of slow getting off the ground, and I needed to convince a lot of my friends. I started by doing features of, and I still to this day try to do a feature every day or every other day of a woman. And in the beginning, I needed to convince my friends to be featured because I didn't really have a network. Most of them were reluctant, but some of them were grateful enough to share their story. Still to this day, I have friends who won't let me feature them because they don't think that their story is great enough. And I'm like, I don't think my story is great enough, but that's the point of Barbell Babes, is that everyone's story is great enough, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it started picking up then, and then around October is when I launched. And I knew I needed to build the foundation and the community before launching a product. And that was my goal. So around October, the apparel started taking off. And then, you know, things started building, and we are where we are today.
And what do your parents think about weightlifting or Olympic lifting? Because I know Asian parents think of things a little differently. And how do they feel about your business?
Well, about weightlifting, they still to this day don't really understand. I think, well, they've never come to any meet of mine. But my mom always says, you know, in Olympic weightlifting, it's how heavy you can lift. And she's always like, don't lift that much. You're going to get hurt. And I'm like, Mom, that's the point of Olympic weightlifting, is to see how much you can lift. So they still don't really understand it, but, you know, they fully support anything that makes me happy. And they understand what Barbell Babes is. They understand what my business is, and they're fully supportive of it. But of course, they're still going to be like any traditional Asian parents and not fully understand the concept.
What do they do for exercise? Or I guess they might not exercise for the sake of exercising, like that is American, but so what do they do for their health?
My mom does not work out, and that's why she has back problems and this and that problem. So, you know, it's been a little bit difficult, but I'm trying to get her to work out more. But my dad is more of the athletic one. He is where I get my muscular genetics from. And he walks every day, and that's his form of exercise.
That's great. I know name a couple current challenges that your business is going through. Or yeah, I guess like a normal small business challenges that you're trying to tackle right now.
Yeah. I guess one of the problems is that you know, there are tons of the same businesses cropping up. And I know that we're different, but it's trying to stay relevant, trying to stay different, trying to stay true to our mission, which isn't really a big challenge for me, but it is a challenge in itself, you know, because I think people always want the latest and greatest thing. So it's trying to stay relevant, trying to be on top of what everybody wants. But at the same time, you know, being true to yourself.
Why were you not afraid to start your own business? Because I know a lot of people might have an idea and then they pussyfoot around before starting because they think, oh, I don't have enough money yet, or no. Why were you not afraid?
Well, I know that unlike a lot of people, I was fortunate enough to take a risk financially. I have the support of my parents, and my now husband at the time, he was supportive of me. And I know a lot of people in entrepreneurship, they don't have a lot of support. You know, their friends or family supporting them, or financially, it's really difficult. So I was fortunate enough to have all that support and be able to take that risk in starting something of my own. You know, of course, you have to invest a lot of your personal money to begin with in order for the business to grow, and we're still growing. So I was fortunate enough to be able to do that, and I've always been a risk taker, so it wasn't hard for me to start a business of my own. And future goals, I would love to start more businesses. That's just, I think, the entrepreneur mindset. We always want to keep doing things and always want to keep changing the world.
So that's interesting you said about you're thinking about other businesses you'd want to start. So what is your big pie in the sky dream for what Barbell Babes would be? And are the other businesses you have in mind related or side offshoots of Barbell Babes?
Yeah. My big picture would be, I still would love to do like a big conference, because right now we're still in e-commerce. Everybody's online. I try to do as many in-person events as I can, but it's never our own events. So I would love to do a conference where I could get babes from all around the world physically together and just, you know, brainstorm, learn, grow with each other in person, because there's a huge difference from the online to the in-person. So my big picture is to get everyone in person, and you know, there's a different kind of energy there, so I would love to do that. As far as other businesses, I haven't, or you know, it hasn't come to me yet, so waiting for the day that happens, and I know it will. But yeah, I'm always open-minded to possibilities and opportunities.
Since this is always about fitness, give me an idea before, I know you had surgery recently, but what your average training week was like, how many days you went to the gym, what you would do, just so other people get an idea of what you do on a weekly basis for your fitness.
Yeah, it's actually funny because I guess I could be better. Everyone could be better. But normally I go into the gym twice a week for barbell club. And then I have a home gym. So usually I do things on my own on the off days. At my peak, I was doing barbell club, and I was also doing CrossFit on the side, trying to do it maybe 5 days a week, which would be the most.
It's a lot of lifting.
Yeah, and at the very peak of my training, I was doing twice a day. So a lot of lifting, and I would love to get back to that point. So yeah, but I've been told, I'm not going to toot my own, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I've been told I have a lot of talent. I just don't have the dedication. So if I could align the two and be more dedicated in my training, I think I could do big things.
Wait, what does that mean? You don't have enough dedication? It sounded like you are dedicated.
I just feel like
Maybe more than 2 a days.
It's like, for me, like, as much as I love lifting, it's like pulling teeth sometimes, you know, when you do it too much, or when it becomes something that you have to do because you want to get somewhere, you know.
Yeah.
But I want to get to a point where I want to do it. I want to reach my goals. And I think that's coming for me.
Excellent. That was Tiffany Klinger of Barbell Babes, and I'm Tina Tang from Iron Strong Jewelry. You can also find this at ironstrongjewelry.com/blog. Thank you.